How can the Buffalo Bills defeat, or this is how the Buffalo Bills can defeat the Cleveland Browns this coming Sunday. And we're going to get into details on that right after this.
Remember to subscribe and hit the bell notification.
Good morning, everyone. This is Karl F. Rose recording from Bedford, Pennsylvania on Thursday, November 7th, 2019. And this morning I'm just going to go over how the Buffalo Bills can defeat the Cleveland Browns this coming Sunday. It's possible, but it's not going to be a blowout. It's not going to be a walk in the park. Cleveland might have a bad record, but they're not as bad as their record indicates. First and foremost, as I've always keep harping on, the Buffalo defense needs to stop the run because last week with Washington, they allowed Peterson, and I don't want to downgrade him at all. He's an excellent runner even at his age, but they still allowed Peterson to get over 100 yards in the game. Chubb, now they're facing a runner who is younger, just as physical, maybe a little bit more physical, and he is actually faster. Chubb has the capability of taking it all the way to the house on any given play. And based on the poor tackling in the Washington game, and Chubb has taken it to the house. He's already had like 80 plus runs this year already. I think more than once, even though the record isn't that good. So this is a problem, and I certainly hope that coach is addressing this, that they're dealing with a much younger runner, try and say that 3 times, who is, if not more physical than Peterson, but at least just as physical as Peterson. And their tackling has to get better, period. I don't expect this to be a blowout. But again, and what they need to do is they need to use Singletary. Now, on the offensive side of the ball, they need to use Singletary more. Because, like Washington, Cleveland does have a decent pass rush. And if Josh Allen is back there passing all game long, he's going to get clobbered. The Browns have a good, even though their record is bad, they still have a good pass rush. So they need to neutralize that. And the only way they can neutralize that is by utilizing Singletary very effectively. Why they got away from doing that in Washington is beyond me, because they were on a roll, then they decided to stop using them. Washington made a game out of it. They went back to him and they sealed the deal. So yes, they do need to use Frank Gore. They have him for a purpose on specific plays where it's not an obvious play, but he can still smash through the line and grind out some critical plays on a third or even second and short, preferably second and short, where he can just ball through and they can get a first down instead of having to try and get a first down on third down. So they need to utilize Frank Gore in the right way, and also they need to utilize Singletary in the right way as well. I mean, out of the backfield, tossing to him out of the backfield, or just use him in plays where he can exploit his speed, where he can follow his blockers and hit the hole, going full bore. Once he gets into the Cleveland secondary, and I'm talking about Singletary here, but the same goes for Gore. But primarily Singletary. With his speed, he gets into the secondary of the Browns, and like Chubb, he can take it to the house. I'm expecting a kind of a slugfest kind of game. This isn't going to be a shootout, and this game is going to probably be closer than it was last week. And in fact, Buffalo might even be in a position where they may have to come from behind and get the last score of the game to get the win. I mean, so this brings me to my prediction. I'm going to go with again, I'm going to say Buffalo getting about 27, and this time I'm saying Cleveland's going to get 20, or even maybe 23, or even 24. It's going to be that close. And if they take Cleveland lightly, if they think this is going to be a walk in the park, they're going to have problems, and they could likely lose. So they need to approach this just as seriously as any other game, because Cleveland is not that bad of a team. They are much better than their record indicates. I know their locker room, they do have locker room issues. That could be a problem for them. They could fall apart. If Cleveland's locker room issues transfers onto the field, that could be ugly for them. But this video isn't about the Cleveland Browns. That's their problem. And if they're having those kind of problems, then it's up to the Bills to take advantage of those problems, score and score often, and just put it away instead of having another nail biter. The play calling needs to be better on both sides of the ball, and on the defense, the tackling needs to be better. They have the talent on defense, but there was way too many missed tackles last week, and hopefully they're working on that and they get that addressed. They clean up their tackling issues. They tackle properly, and they've got this. They can do it. I still say, with the exception of the flaw of the Eagles, I had them saying that they could win out prior to the Eagles game, and then they went out and laid an egg. They cannot, for the rest of the season, they cannot go out and lay eggs. It's good that Patriots lost. Got a break by the Ravens there. But now, that just means, again, if Buffalo wins out, then that includes a win over New England, and they would need to beat New England in a convincing fashion. I mean a double-digit win in New England, which will be very difficult to do, but a win is a win. So, but they need to get that win against New England. I know that's going down the road, but right now we need to take care of Cleveland. They got their issues to take care of. Let's just knock them down, knock the opponents down one at a time, and get this win this week. Then focus on the following week, get the win the following week, blah, blah, blah. This is, basically what the coaches say, and this is really what they need to do. So I have the Bills winning this game about probably 27-24, because this is not going to be an easy game. Unless Cleveland totally falls apart, which I'm not expecting. Everybody's a professional here, so they're all getting paid good money, and they're all professionals. So anyway, I just wanted to get that out. Also, I will be doing my usual podcast on Monday morning. So if you're new to this channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button and then the bell notification to get notified of all my videos. Plus, go to my homepage and I have a podcast. It's called Karl's Corner Podcast. It's usually where I do my post-game reviews. And go onto that channel, hit the subscribe button and the bell notification on that channel too. And that way you can keep up to date on all my Buffalo stuff. And we will talk to you next time. See you then.